James Bond has been part of the action scene since 1953 when author Ian Fleming released the first book, Casino Royale. By 1962, the first film, Dr. No, hit theaters. Since then, Bond has been the #1 spy and doesn't show any signs of slowing down. Welcome to Mighty Entertainment, and today we will be taking a look at Bond's newest adventure novel called Forever in a Day by Anthony Horowitz, which was released in early 2018. Without giving away too much, the book serves as a prequel to Casino Royale, which in the novel world is the very first 007 adventure. Forever in a Day shows a lot of reasons why Bond is Bond. The novel lets the reader discover certain Easter eggs, such as the reason Bond prefers his drink shaken, not stirred. The novel opens up with a character that holds the title 007. He is assassinated, and Bond is promoted to the new 007 status. Well, kind of. His first assignment is to discover who killed the previous 007, and this is what sets the groundwork for the rest of the novel. Forever in a Day is a must for 007 fans, and you will have the damnedest time trying to put it down. One thing I really love that author Horowitz did was how the origin story was set up. Most origin stories have a tendency to drag on before the character becomes what we expect them to become. Horowitz doesn't waste time with this, and essentially tells how Bond becomes 007 within 2 to 3 chapters, which was perfect. It didn't feel rushed, and it didn't drag out either. The novel instead focuses on Bond developing the certain characteristics that make him the Bond we all know and love. Another aspect I loved about this novel is Bond loses, like a lot. Almost every encounter he has with the main bad guys, he loses except obviously the last meeting. Which I will admit, spoiler alert, one of the bad guys looked like they were going to escape and set up a prequel sequel. Which brings me to what I didn't like about the novel. Major spoilers ahead regarding the end of this novel. Without giving away names to keep some mystery, there are technically 2 main bad guys in this story. Both of these villains prove to be a lot for Bond to try and eliminate. However, by the conclusion of the novel, Bond doesn't kill either one of them. One dies in one of the most anticlimactic ways when taking a character that is mixed between Marvel's Kingpin and Jaws. This dude literally drowns because he was too fat to fit through the door. I'm not even exaggerating on that. The second villain is discovered dead by Bond and was killed by a CIA agent we barely knew from this book. Within a couple pages, Bond figures out the CIA agent is covering his own tracks, and Bond kills him, then stages it as a murder-suicide. Bond mentions the murder he just committed would have to be off the books and no one could know about it, which is really more of a character development rather than a continuing plot. That being said, the novel is extremely entertaining. Horowitz did such an amazing job at mimicking Fleming's writing while creating his own story. It definitely felt like I was reading a long-lost novel from Fleming. Taking a look at the 5-star scale, which is as follows: was the story entertaining? Would I recommend the book to anyone? Would I read the book again? Would I read a sequel or prequel to the book? And how was the character development? Well, this book was definitely entertaining, and I would recommend it to anyone who likes a good spy novel, regardless of the character being James Bond. I will most definitely read this book again sometime in my life, and as for sequels, well, I'm already doing that. So character development was solid. We see Bond slowly become the rookie 00 agent, and the lead Bond girl in the story does a complete 180 from the first time you meet her to the last word she says. So yeah, I'm extremely comfortable giving this book 5 stars. So before we finish this video and you go on Amazon and buy this book, let's take a look at the question most hardcore fans always ask about new Bond novels. Which Bond did you picture in this story? Unfortunately, I didn't picture Sean Connery's Bond once in this novel, and if I did picture Sir Roger Moore, it was something so small I don't remember. However, I did find myself cycling through 3 Bonds throughout the novel: George Lazenby, Pierce Brosnan, and Daniel Craig. Throughout the narrative, the action scenes you couldn't help but picture Brosnan, and the love scenes screamed Lazenby. But the majority of the novel I pictured Craig. I know a lot of people are going to say this is because he is the newest Bond, however, that isn't the case. A lot of the dialogue scenes, interrogation scenes, and the mistakes this Bond makes relates to a younger and inexperienced Bond, very similar to Craig's Bond in the film adaptation of Casino Royale. In Forever in a Day, Bond goes through 2 interrogation scenes, one more brutal than the other, and Craig immediately popped in my head thanks to the "you're gonna die scratching my balls" scene from Casino Royale. But if you have read the novel, I'd love to hear your take on the ending or which Bond you pictured. Just leave a comment down below, and until the next video, take care and be safe.